You want freedom. Hell, most people say they want freedom. But if you watch how they build their business, their brands, their lives, you're going to realize something a little bit strange. They don't actually want freedom. They want control or recognition or permission. And in that process, they build systems that actually trap them. So today, I want to talk to you about why this happens. Why so many ambitious, smart people, founders, creators, operators, they quietly stay stuck. And how I started breaking that trap in my own life. All right, so here's the lie of freedom-driven entrepreneurship. All right, when we start businesses, we say things like, all right, I just want more freedom. I don't want to work for somebody else. I want to be in control of my time. But if you fast forward 5 years and that same person is working 60 hours a week, posting daily to stay relevant, taking every single call because the pipeline isn't really predictable, miserable if they're not growing 20% quarter over quarter, right? That's not freedom. That is a high-end cage with your name on it. And I say that from experience. All right? Here's a personal story. All right? A huge 6-figure month, total restlessness. All right? There was a period where I was earning more than I could ever imagine. Right? Hundreds of thousands in a month, all from clients, deals, systems that I had built myself. But I was still checking revenue dashboards 20 times a day. I was still unable to sit still planning content at dinner time, still wondering why I didn't feel good. And it's because I hadn't built for freedom. I had built for reinforcement. I needed the money, the praise, the dopamine, not because I loved it, but because I didn't really know who I was without it. So here are 3 types of cages that founders build for themselves. First one is the financial cage. Now, this one's pretty simple. Your income depends on your performance. All right? If you don't sell, if you don't speak, post, or show up, the money's going to slow. You feel free, but your nervous system doesn't really rest. 2, the identity cage. You become the guy who always wins, or the brand expert, or the growth hacker. You're terrified of being irrelevant. So you stay locked into the game just to keep your identity intact. 3, the emotional cage. You tell yourself, I should be happy. So when you feel tired, dull, numb, you think that something might be wrong with you. You keep performing because it's the only way that you know how to feel alive. Does this sound familiar? Right? Why do we do this? Trauma, school, and winning. All right, let's be honest, guys. A lot of us built our ambition as a way to survive. We were praised for being excellent. We got love when we won. We got left alone when we performed. So we learned. Perform well equals feel safe. That's why it's so hard to let go. Even when we know we're exhausted, even when we've made it, we keep performing. Because on some level, freedom feels unsafe. All right? Here's what freedom actually is and isn't. Real freedom, it's not about time. It's not about never working. It's not about checking out completely. Real freedom, it's about being able to choose without fear. Can I stop posting for a week and feel calm? Can I take on fewer clients without spiraling? Can I shift my identity without losing my sense of worth? Freedom is internal. It's how you relate to your systems, not just how much they pay you. Here's the calm system that I started, all right? And this is what helped build me to where I am right now. This is how I began to restructure things. Income that's trust-based, not hustle-based, right? Brand Built, my company, it's built on inbound, positioning, and long-term assets. People come to me. That changed everything. Second, content that comes from emotion, not fear. No more I have to post. Now it's I get to express something true. C, nervous system first, revenue second. I structure days for stillness, for walks, for piano, for silence, because that's where real clarity happens. Here's a quick client story, okay? There's a VC operator who just couldn't stop performing. One of my clients ran a multi-8-figure company, but he was posting on LinkedIn like his life depended on it. He wasn't building trust, he was chasing attention, and it was slowly wrecking his self-worth. So what'd we do? We stripped it all back. We created a calm profile, rebuilt his positioning, taught him to stop posting and to start listening. The guy closed a $120K advisory deal off of 2 comments and a DM. Right? So what do you have to ask yourself? What are your freedom filters? Want to know if you're free? Here's what you have to ask yourself. Could I stop doing X for 30 days and still feel calm? Do I believe I'm enough without showing up online today? Am I building systems that make me feel safe or just seen? If you don't like the answers, it's not failure. That's an invitation. Look, if you are building a business but still feel trapped, you're not crazy. You've probably been chasing freedom in all of the ways that lead you back to a cage. So let this be the beginning of something quieter, something more true, something that feels like peace. If you want more, I write a newsletter every single week. It's called the Calm Income Playbook. All right, you can join at natberman.com. The link is in the description. All right, and if you want to help building a brand that pays you to be calm, no content grind, no chaos, you might want to check out Brand Build. All right, really appreciate you being here. See you in the next video, and don't forget, mess that one up. Don't forget to subscribe.